Act 1. You can put this in because our music is banging. Welcome to the Fraidy Cat Podcast. My name is Kelly McFarland.
I'm Carolyn Plummer.
And we're back with all the things that make you feel Fraidy. We have a guest back in house. We did episodes without guests, and we've done them with guests.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer guests.
I do too.
And it's not because I don't adore you and you're not like my sister from another mister.
Sure.
No, you just also agreed that guests are better.
No, it is.
I like having a guest, a friend.
It's another perspective.
That's
nice.
correct. Yeah.
We have a guest today.
We have
Who is
such a
it?
good guest. You want me to say?
Yeah, you should tell everybody who our guest is.
He's currently eating a Slim Jim. He is the hilarious and talented, just filmed a new comedy special. Not sure when that's coming out. We'll get that information. You should follow him on Instagram, and he is at Corey Rodrigues. He's Corey Rodrigues, the hilarious comedian and our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's a big intro.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's at Corey Rods, too, on Instagram. Not.
Is it Corey Rods or
Yep.
C-Rod?
Nope, Corey Rods.
Corey Rods. Is that because...
You're close friends.
I don't know his Instagram handle.
I don't either.
I can just call him.
I'm just messing with.
It's not like a... How come you don't have your full name?
Because there's all these different theories when you're getting on social media. And so at that time, I think it was always shorter was better. Yeah. Everything was shorter was better. And then even like everything used to go through phases where it was like, first people released long stuff.
It should all be the same.
Yeah.
Videos were long.
Yes.
And then they went through things where videos were short. And remember Vine? Right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was like the shorter the better. Can you get it in 6 seconds?
No.
Doesn't even need to be the joke.
I
just
didn't
say,
even sign up for it.
just say, people see you move funny. It's funny.
Right.
So and then, then it got back to being like a little bit of length now. People are watching. So I don't know.
Do you have a blue check?
I had a blue check because I paid for it.
Nice.
And
Nice. I love the transparency.
Yeah. Oh, no, I did for a second.
Yeah.
But then because they wouldn't approve me because of my names, I was going back and forth with them because I really bought it because I wanted to talk to them. Because they won't talk to you about blue checkage until you pay for the ability to talk to customer service.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that true?
100% true.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
have
can't
a check.
go
I'm
try to talk to
checklist.
them. Go email them about something and be like, hey, my blue check is right. It's not. You're not gonna
It's
get.
a bot, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna get any. It's just gonna be like refer here to go whatever. But you can actually get a person. So I was talking to this person, and they were like, yeah, but you have to use your real, like your first name and your whatever. That's what you have to do to apply. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not. No, I was like, I don't need to use my first name. Like I was like, I'm not famous, but I'm out here in these streets. You know what I mean? Like people, you know what I mean? I have a lot of people that follow,
That's right.
that follow me or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, I'm a public figure. And the guy was like, no, we don't care if you apply for it. You got to use your name. And we kept going back and forth. And I was like, what about Busta Rhymes? You think his name is Busta Rhymes? When I go to this is what I'm writing to the dude.
Yeah.
I go, you think I go to LL Cool J's Instagram is LL Cool J. It's not Todd.
Right.
Right? And
It's so true,
right?
though.
And then he was just
Yeah.
like, well, that's different. We did. He was like, when it's like that, we gave them the blue check without them applying for the blue check because you can apply for it or you can
Right.
pay for it. So if you apply for it, you have to. It's different than if you just
You have to prove.
pay for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they'll just approve you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if that makes sense at all.
No,
if
that
you guys
does
have
make
it.
sense.
But I went back and forth with them a bunch of. So then I was just like, and I'm not paying for this shit. Like I don't
Yeah.
care because at this point, everybody
How
on
about you
my
go fuck
feed has a
yourself
blue
with your
check.
blue check?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Everybody's
got
a blue check. So I'm like, I'd rather not have it until it's really my check. Like,
I don't
until
have
they
one.
give it to me.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna buy it. I
Well,
was
I'm
like,
saying
that
this-
seems weird.
Yeah, and there's so many people that have it though, but no one knows. Like, if you have a high enough status, no one knows if you really got it. You know, I mean, you have
Yeah.
credits, you have TV credits. You know, so
Yeah.
no one really knows that. They don't know if you just got approved because there was other people that I followed that were like, "Yo, man, I just got approved and got my check, and now they're letting people buy it," and they were so upset. It
I
just
know.
like
I'm
took
with
away from
them.
theirs.
I don't like them.
I think it's weird too because there was that whole new thing where they were like, you can buy the blue check, and then I was like, I have 3,100 followers.
Yeah.
How embarrassing! Like, and I have a blue check. Like that doesn't make sense.
There's
like,
people
who
with
am
100.
I? That doesn't even make. I know.
That have a blue check because they bought it now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're super talented. So the people that
Thank you.
So I'm serious. So the
Thank
people
you.
that watch I mean, the people that follow you,
Yeah.
they
They
would
don't
assume
care.
you have it anyway.
Yeah.
Into the layperson's eyes, when they look at it, they're just like, well, yeah, she should have a blue check.
Yeah.
But you have someone works at J. Crew and has a blue check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they want a T-shirt folding contest.
Person has 262 followers. They follow 1,017
Yeah.
people, and they got a blue. You're
Yeah.
like that. But if they, it just. I got it initially too because the response of people is crazy.
Yeah.
Like when people go to follow me, after a show, I'll be talking to them and they'll go, "Oh, you're verified." Wow.
Yeah.
They're like extra
You're
excited.
a real person.
You're verified.
Oh. Yeah.
So it does mean something.
It
still.
does. It does.
It's just that we're comedians and we make fun of all of it all the time. Like, who needs this stupid check?
Right.
Why would I even? But people, it means something to people. That's why they said they made so much money those first few days on that blue check.
Of course they did.
Like selling it to people. They said they made, I don't know, millions.
Because they need more money.
Right.
That's so true that you can't talk to a person because my husband just got locked. Someone hacked his Facebook, and they changed his email. They changed the phone number.
They
And-
did that to me on Netflix.
And you cannot get
did.
They did it to you on Netflix too?
Yeah, they changed my email address, and I couldn't get anybody at Netflix.
Nothing. You can't. He was up in arms yesterday. He
And they're
doesn't
like,
listen
"What's
to
your
this
email
podcast."
address?" I'm like, "You mean the one I had before they fucking changed it?"
Yeah, I can talk about him because he doesn't listen. He was freaking out. He was like, I go, "Why are you so mad about this?" And he's like, "Because I can't get anyone on the phone. They manage a website for people to connect with people, and you cannot connect with people."
Right.
Xfinity's the same
Yeah.
way. Are you hearing me,
They are.
Xfinity?
Xfinity, we're not
Because
sponsored.
you have to pay for Peacock now.
I've had to always pay for Peacock.
I didn't. It came with my package. And I got around it. I used my rewards. But I couldn't get a person to save my life. And then I got some chat person who couldn't even spell.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not the question I asked, jackass.
Wait, the chat person couldn't
Yeah.
spell?
Sometimes it's just a
no.
chat bot though, which is
Yeah,
annoying.
and the bot couldn't spell.
I don't know. Well, this bot was dumb. Because they weren't. I was like, that isn't even the question I asked. I was like, clearly you can't help me. I got pissed. But I figured it out on my own.
It's like that bit with the movie phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What movie are you trying to see?
Oh yeah, I used to call people like that
Yeah.
when I was younger. I did voices all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So I would call people and I would call them. I would go, if you know the name of the movie you'd like to see, push 1 now. To choose from a list of current movies, press 2 now. Enter now. And I would just say all the things and I would do it. Like they'd be like, hello, and I'd be like, you've won movie tickets. If you like the name of the movie you like to see, if you know, and then people would just be dying. I'd call people on 3 with them, like, call this person.
Do it.
You've won movie tickets. If you know the name of the movie you like to see. And every time they'd interrupt, they'd put, I have, I go, enter now.
Food.
Yeah. And then when they push a button, I go, if you know the name of the movie. I would just start it over. I used to do that so
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is that right? That's my biggest pet peeve is that one. When the robot person goes, is that
much.
right?
Is that right? Yeah.
No, it's not even close.
How dare you? No. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
That makes me crazy.
Trying to track a package now is the same.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't get a person.
Yeah.
I'm like, representative,
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
I
You-
get so mad.
So you've been doing voices forever because if people follow you on Instagram, they're going to find out that you do a ton of voiceover on video.
Yeah.
You just posted one. Can we talk about this? Is
Yeah,
this
of
okay?
course. Yeah.
You just posted one that you were talking about how someone came up to you and said you went scuba diving when you
Yeah.
were working on the cruise.
Yeah.
And someone came up to you and they were like, "Oh, I can't believe you can swim."
Yeah. 100, like, comfortably was just like, not like, literally, like, not trying to be insulting and not trying to be funny and was baffled.
Ignorant.
That you can
Like,
right?
ignorant, just straight
Yeah.
ignorant. She
Yeah.
goes, and they weren't like old. You know what I'm saying? They were like 45, her and the
Oh my
husband. And she
God.
goes, the funniest part about that joke, because I was doing this joke about snorkeling, and what happened to me when I snorkeled. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I was scared. I was snorkeling, but I could swim. And the instructor was a little bit ahead and whatever. And she was like, the funniest part about that was when you said that you were swimming. I just about peed myself. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. I said, some of us can swim. I said, there's a lot of us that can swim, actually. And she goes, it's so nuts because Where I live, none of them can swim.
None of them.
None of
None of
them.
them can swim, right?
Oh my
And the
God.
husband's like, it's true. She goes, isn't it right? And he was like, it's right.
Roger.
Right? And he was like, it's right. And there's the person I was actually in a conversation with. They interrupted to tell me that. And the person's just looking at me, and they're uncomfortable. It's another white dude. He was uncomfortable.
Well,
Right?
yeah,
It's an
because he
older white
knows you
guy.
don't
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, and he's just looking at me. And then when they walked away, he goes, man, I can't swim, man. Myself. He's like, I'm not a good swimmer. I think he can, but he just.
I mean,
He wanted to sympathize.
what I loved about this.
I can't swim either. Don't feel bad about it.
You know, I'm water wings
I'm
all
white.
the way.
I
Water
can't
wings
swim.
all the way. The video that you posted, I thought it was so good because it was like, it was calling this person out,
Yeah.
and then you were like, you know, a lot of people can't swim. If they didn't have access to swimming lessons or water, they wouldn't have learned how to swim. So those are white people that also can't swim.
Right.
And then you played. I love it though because it was so gentle. It's such your style to like. You were making a very valid point. Like, don't make assumptions, asshole.
Right.
And you know what? Uncle Corey loves you. Here's a video of a guy almost drowning, and it's true. Right after there was this video of this guy ziplining, and he's like, you know who can't swim? This guy.
Right. And you know who saves him? A black guy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
A black guy
Who can swim.
Who can swim? He goes in the water and saves
He
this
can
guy.
swim, you guys.
I took
Yeah.
swimming lessons at 8 a.m. in the lake in New Hampshire. You know how
Yeah.
cold it is at 8 a.m.,
yeah,
even in the summer?
I did that in Maine
Oh,
when I
it
was growing
sucked
up.
a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
But I can swim.
Yeah, I almost drowned when I was a kid. So you know when traumatizing things like that happen, you never forget.
Right.
But I was at Disney World, and I was with my aunt was supposed to be watching me outside, and she was sitting out at the pool, and I remember her birthday's around it's around December. That's when we were there, and I was little. I must have been 5, 6, something like that, and she was reading birthday cards at the table. And I remember I was in the water, and I was just like, at that age, I was like, hold on to the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when I went to the
In
deep end, I was like, hold on
Yeah,
to the
you're
side, like,
like,
oh,
"Look
the
at
kids
me,
are down
everybody."
here.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was doing that, and I don't know what happened, but I swooped, and I was in the water, okay? And I remember just being in the water, like, I'm just down in there, like, and I'm flailing a little bit, but, like, I wasn't doing the thing where I'm like bobbing up, like, help, somebody help. I was just in there. I was just down. There was no like, you know, I'm going down. And I remember there was this dude. I mean, he probably, now when I look back, he probably was like a 15, 16-year-old kid or something like that. Like he was just swimming by or whatever. And I remember just like hitting his like legs. You know what I mean? I was like, oh.
Help me.
Yeah, help me. And I don't know, he could have easily just been like, oh, look at this kid playing.
Yeah.
And like kept going. But he was like, and he came down, pulled me up.
Saved you.
Yep. And he brought me over to my aunt. He was like, is this your child? Right? And he brought me over and put me there. And then he like laid me on the table. And I remember it was like a movie scene, like, and you're like throwing up and coughing up the water and everything. And she was like, oh my God, thank you for getting him. Thank you for getting him. And I was like, I was just throwing up. And I just remember getting back in the shallow end after that. Just fucking hanging
Hold
on.
on to the
Hold
side.
on to the side
I
again.
almost drowned too, but
Yeah.
it was because my brother dared me to jump out of the boat. And when you're a kid, you don't think that you jump out of a boat when it's going 15, 20 miles an hour, that when you hit the water,
Yeah.
it's like concrete.
Yeah.
And I did. And I started to drown.
Yeah.
And the
that's
neighbor
scary.
came out from where we were, and she pulled me out of the water on her surfboard. And I was like, can I use your surfboard? And I could swim, but I hit the water, and it knocked the wind out of me.
That's a new trend right now. On I think it's on maybe it's on TikTok. I don't want to blame TikTok for everything, but I think it's a new trend on TikTok where people are jumping out of the moving boat, and so everyone's doing it, and so there's been some deaths already because
Yeah.
they're trying to tell you like when you hit the water, it's like
Yeah.
concrete. Like people
It
don't
is.
realize that.
And I was like 10, and I was like, and I had bruises from hitting the water.
Yeah, they're breaking themselves up, or
Yep.
they're just straight up dying from jumping in. So they gotta put a disclaimer out, like this is dangerous.
Yeah.
They always have to put a
Yeah.
disclaimer. out.
Don't
Coffee's hot.
Yeah, coffee's hot.
Water's hard.
Don't chew glass. It,
Right.
can cut you up inside.
Right.
If you
Don't get in a dryer and
Don't
turn
suck
it
in
on.
cinnamon. Don't eat
suck-
Tide Pods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I almost drowned once because I was irritating my older brother, and we were camping on the lake, and our campsite was right on the edge of the lake, so it was like a beachfront site. And I was doing something, pissing my brother off, and he hit me, which was common. And I was like, he hit me. And my dad said, well, leave him alone. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. And my brother's like, just so mad. He was so mad. He's like, I mean, I literally want to kill her. I want to kill her. And I go, I was like being a dick, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad goes, you want to kill her? Lake's right there. I'll give you 5 minutes to try to kill her.
Jeez.
I've never told you this story, Carolyn.
Nope, I would have
Yeah,
remembered this.
and my
one.
brother came right over to me, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And he took me into the lake, and he held me under the water
And you
because he
almost-
had 5 minutes to try to kill me. And
That's too many minutes.
my mom, that's
Yes.
way too many minutes.
That's
I
way too
cannot
many.
hold my breath that long.
Yeah.
And so my mother put a stop to it and pulled me out and was like, all right, that's enough.
So was
You
your
know, so
dad
she's
like, come
ripping
on.
a butt. She's like, that's enough. She's learned her lesson. Enough, everybody,
The
enough.
story I remember about your brother is he tried to convince you were a dwarf.
Yes, he did.
Mhm.
He told me that I. Mm-hmm.
No, older brothers are brutal
Yeah,
like
they're
that. No, I
awful.
don't mean, yeah. My brother used to say I was adopted. He was like, yo, you're
Oh, yeah.
adopted. Anytime we met some
Yep.
girls, he's 4 years older than me. We'd be around girls. He'd be like, this is my adopted little brother right here. Nobody likes him. And I used to be like, why you say that? Right?
Yeah.
And when
We're
I say it to him
adopted.
now, he's like, yo, I don't know. You
Yeah.
just got on my nerves. I got I'm sick of you. Like, you got on my nerves. Because
Yeah.
I just wanted to do everything he was doing.
All right.
His
That's
friends
my
would
brother.
come over. I would find any little hiding place I could be at so I could just watch what they were doing. I'd just be looking at them. I don't know what. It just seemed like whatever they were doing was cool. He's 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, 8th
Yeah.
grade, he's in, 11th grade, right, 12th. So I would just, that's 4.
You got it.
He's
boo.
a senior, right? And
Yeah.
I'm in middle school, so I would just, when his friends would come over, it just seemed like, even if they were talking about anything, it seemed
Yeah.
so animated and fun. Like, I had to do homework too. And I'm like, they're talking about homework.
Oh.
High school homework.
That's
You know.
got boobs in it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
anything they're doing.
Yep.
And so then it just used to be like, and they were always just being secret. He was always trying to get around me. And then I'm always telling on him. I can't wait to see something that I can tell. You know? He's like, all
Yes.
you do is run your mouth. Get away from me, you know? So
4 years. That's the same
4 years
amount.
is tough. That's
My
a
brother
tough.
and I, 4.5 years apart.
They
Yeah.
don't like you at that age.
Oh, he hated me. He
Yeah.
chucked me down the stairs once, and because he was bigger than me, and I
you were a
cracked my because I Carolyn.
It's funny.
First of all, it's a little person.
Oh, sorry.
And second of all, he told me I was, because I'm short still.
Mhm.
I'm very aware. And I was really short when I was little. And he was like, look, they're never going to tell you because they don't want to put limitations on you. But you're actually, it was the 70s, dwarf. It's little person.
Mhm.
You're a dwarf. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, why do you think you're so much smaller than everyone else? And I was like, I'm just short. I can do stuff. And he's like, you can't do a lot. Think about it. And they've done nothing to help you in the house. Like, everything's up high. I'm just saying. And I'm like, so yeah, for like 2 years, I was like, my parents are lying to me. I'm actually a little person. Yeah. So yeah, he was brutal to me. He threw me down the stairs once. I cracked my head open and I was an asshole. So I stood up and I had blood all down the back. It was like running down the back and I was a little out of it. And I was like, you waited until, like, my voice was slurred
Yeah.
because it knocked the wind out of me.
You probably had a
I'm like,
concussion.
I'm going to go tell mom on you. And I'm bleeding. Do you know how I'm bleeding? Yeah, we used to fight so hard.
My brother was on a moped, on a dirt bike one time. One of the neighbors had him on a dirt bike when we were little, and he fell off and he cracked his head in the middle. He got this like little like cut, like it's very pronounced cut in the middle of his head. But I loved my brother so much. I wanted to be like him so much. I went to the corner of a door when I was little, and I literally just started banging my head
Oh
in the
my
corner of the door so
God.
I could get a spot like him.
Oh,
Because I was like, everyone, I was like, so I wanted a spot. So I was like, bum, 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 and I was just hitting my head in the thing. And when I got the little spot, I was like, yeah, you can't say I'm adopted now because I got the spot.
You have a scar on your
Yeah,
forehead
yeah.
that I've never noticed before.
Yeah, I put it there when I was little. It used to be more pronounced, but then I grew into
Aw.
it. But he has it. He still has one, so we're brothers.
That's adorable.
I have a dent
Yeah.
from college, but that's a story for another day.
Or is it? Mm-hmm.
I slipped
Is
on
it?
the ice, fell down the stairs. Okay. Are we going to talk about
Yeah,
what we're going to talk
We're just catching up with everybody.
I know.
All right. Where are we at for time? We talk to them a lot. You guys don't know. You're supposed to know.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. I'm just kidding.
She's
you guys
on
are
the
great.
time.
You
Maybe
guys
it's
are doing great.
Maybelline. Just thinking about skin.
I was trying to remember the song we were singing before the thing came on when you went, maybe it's a
Yeah.
now that I found you, I can. We're
let
using these
you
new mics
go.
tonight, and they're handheld,
These are the
but they're
handheld.
like, you know.
These are the 4 top mics. Sugar pie, honey bun.
Sugar pie, honey
You know
bun.
that I love you.
You know I love you.
I
Can't help myself. No, no.
I love you and
nobody else. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Well, the Fraidy topic for tonight is Skinwalkers,
Mhm.
which it took me down a rabbit hole, I'm not going to lie. Because once you go Skinwalker, you get all these other topics that come up.
Right.
You know a lot about them for some reason.
Because it's a thing that comes up with like ufology and like all that stuff because that's a word.
I know it is. It just was weird. It's a word I didn't know you knew. Ufology.
I know lots of words.
I know you do.
Ufology. EUPHOLOGY. Ufology.
That is incorrect.
Because Skinwalkers are one of the places where there's been a lot of UFO sightings. But
Hang on a sec.
Skinwalkers,
Just pause real quick. So just so you know, Corey, Carolyn, once we get into the topic,
She's
she
serious.
gets super
No,
serious.
I could tell. There's 0 smiles. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I
It
shouldn't have
gets-
spelled that.
It gets, you're like, and then I got in on the bit and I was like, oh shit, we're in the topic. I forgot. Okay. Sorry,
well,
Carolyn.
we should tell people what they are.
Yes, we're going to.
All
Car- yes. Okay. The producers are
Okay.
agreeing. Okay. Go ahead, Kara.
So the loose definition, and I'm no expert on Skinwalkers, although Kelly seems to think I am.
Well, I feel like because we've talked about it before.
We have talked about it before, but it's something from the
when we've been on like a dark road in the middle of nowhere, and
Right.
you think it's funny to bring it up and be like, you know what we might see out here
A
is a
skinwalker.
skinwalker. And I'm like, don't say that. And then you're like,
Sasquatch.
seriously, you never know. You might see a skinwalker, but we wouldn't know it was a skinwalker because, and go ahead.
And it's basically a shapeshifter from Navajo and Ute Indian lore that it's people, basically shamans that have gone to the dark side that can now shapeshift into different animals. And it's always the animals from their culture, wolves, crows. I forget what the other ones were.
Cougars.
Cougars.
Wolves, crows,
wolves.
cougars,
Coyotes.
coyotes, wolves, crows, coyotes.
It says the Navajo version is called Yinalolishi, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing correctly,
Yinalogishi.
which translates
Why?
to
Sounds like
with it he goes on all fours. So basically a person could just turn into a wolf and take off and
Yep.
you'd see
Well,
the
that's like Twilight.
well, they're werewolves, that's different.
Oh.
And there's also another name, the Wendigo, which is also
The Wendigo girls.
the Wendigo
I love
girls.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see a shapeshifter, that's when to go.
That's exactly Corey.
Just had to. It was
good one,
right there. It was
honey.
right
But
there.
they've been known to read people's
I love
minds,
that.
control animals at night, like owls, call up spirits of the dead, and they're almost impossible to catch or get rid of.
So can we
They
pause?
must continue to kill or they'll die.
Great. Can we pause for a second? So I looked this up on Wikipedia because I like to do that
Mhm.
because I just think it's always interesting. It says in Navajo culture, you can open your snack. You gonna open
Okay.
your snack?
Yeah. No, go ahead. I didn't
Oh,
wanna
it's already
interrupt.
open.
It's open.
No, you can. We're casual
Okay.
here on the
Okay.
Fraidy.
All right.
In Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch
Yeah.
who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. The term is never used for healers.
No, so basically it's a healer that went rogue and turned evil.
All right, that's good. I mean, it's not
Or
good.
it could be they're considered witches because they've gone to the dark side.
Oh, okay.
But they also say that you can tell if you're in the presence of a skinwalker by their eyes.
Yeah, because they glow, right?
If you shine a light on one when he's an animal, his eyes glow bright red, and when he's a human, his eyes seem to be animal-like.
So wouldn't the Mothman be, and we haven't covered that yet on our podcast, but the Mothman then was a giant bird thing
It could have
with
been.
glowing red eyes. Could it be this?
It could be. I mean, that one, that's a weird story.
Yeah, we'll probably cover
That's-
that at some point.
I
'Cause
also
that
learned-
scares me.
I also learned that the Skinwalkers, the witches, the Navajo people don't believe that witches are all evil and that they're good as well, and they're supposed to walk amongst the people. So the skinwalkers that have gone to the dark side, they're not all supposed to be committing evil. It's good. It's just whether or not they decide. They have the decision to make in interactions whether or not they're going to go bad or good. So it's not like they're just all negative. And so that, and then that goes into that story of the ranch, the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the location, the Skinwalker Ranch. That's why it's called that.
Isn't that like a vortexy area though? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
It says it borders on the Uintah and Ouray Indian Reservation in Utah and is hotbed of strange phenomenon. The cattle ranch has spawned a popular book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, a feature-length documentary of the same name, and a History Channel series, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. But they've had encounters with mythical animals, cattle mutilations, poltergeist activity, crop circles, sightings of glowing orbs, and even flying saucers. So the show that I watched with Jack Osborne was with
what's that show called?
it's one I don't know
Something to Hell.
No, that's Portals to Hell, but that's not the show. He was investigating Skinwalker Ranch, this valley in Utah with Jason Meeks from
Ghost Hunt.
no. He's from
This is what happens on our podcast, by the way. We both go,
Strange Things Afoot at the Circle K. He's Snoochie Booches.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Mewes. He was with Jason Mewes, which was hilarious on so many levels.
That was really good word association, I just want to say.
But he actually took it seriously. So it was Jack Osborne.
Hang on a second. There seems to be a garage door opening.
That was weird.
Could just be a skinwalker.
Jason Mewes from Kevin Smith's movie.
Yeah. No, I know who it
So
is
they
now.
went and
I got it.
investigated, and it was actually really cool. Like, they caught orbs in the sky, and they had this ex-FBI agent who studies UFOs now. And so they were just, it's like desolate land. Like, not, they were next to the ranch. They were in the same valley, but they weren't at the ranch. But the ranch has been investigated by this guy who's an engineer. I cannot think of his name. He's got a really thick Southern accent, but he's like the host of the History Channel show.
The redhead guy, right?
Yeah.
I've watched that show a few times, and here's the thing with Skinwalker Ranch.
They never find anything.
They never find anything, and it's too many things.
Yeah.
It's like when you make, it's like when our friend KK, who's an amazing cook,
Doesn't edit.
She makes a potato salad, and she just goes 3 ingredients too far.
She's going to hear this and be very upset.
She doesn't listen to this podcast, does she? She does?
If anybody black is listening to this podcast right now, they're going to be like, did she put in almonds and cashews inside the potato salad?
No.
Oh, my God. Is that a thing?
It's a white people thing.
No.
Yes,
No, but
they
there's
put
a lot-
pistachios in
there's-
it. They ruin potato salad.
There are no nuts in her potato salad, but there's everything else: bacon,
It's
eggs,
so good, dude. She's such a
pepper,
good cook.
Worcestershire sauce,
The
Salt.
type of white person that puts cashews in
Mayonnaise.
there wears Tevas.
pickle juice.
Where have you gone that they put nuts in their potato salad?
Okay.
You must have
I'm
been
telling
some
you.
fancy ass white person.
That's
place.
nothing fancy about cashews
Mixed nuts.
in a potato salad.
Who puts nuts in them?
And Tevas.
I don't like that surprise. I don't like that surprise.
I'm
in a
just
bite.
letting you
What's
know.
this
All right.
I'm tasting? Cashews. Go
Yeah,
fuck
what are
yourself.
you
Why'd
doing?
you
How
put
do you have-
cashews in potato salad?
I don't
What's
like.
wrong with you?
I don't like nuts
That's
in
why
my
we're
baked
all-
goods either. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
No, I don't either.
No.
I'm like that.
I don't like it.
them in brownies.
I don't like too many chocolate chips in my chocolate chip cookies.
Work. I agree.
Listen. I
Yes.
love chocolate chips, but too many of them. I'm like, this is just too chocolatey. I want like.
I don't like
I
it when
need
the
some
cookie
cookies.
doesn't
I need
taste like
cookie.
anything.
Mhm.
We got cookies last time. We
Oh.
did this.
We want them to bring us.
No, they're fine. They were all good except the oatmeal cookie didn't taste like anything.
Because it's an oatmeal cookie.
I do like oatmeal cookies.
Unless
it had no taste.
it's a very. I like an oatmeal cookie. It takes. You have to do it right.
Yeah, it wasn't
Otherwise,
bad,
it's
but
like-
the cookie itself didn't taste like anything. So I was like, yeah.
Cookies to me
Not
have
gonna
to be.
eat it.
I love a good soft cookie, but I also love a hard cookie. But I put a lot of pressure on a hard cookie. A hard cookie has to be really good. It has to be like a short joke. You know when a joke. You know if a joke is if the joke is too long, you're like, man, it can't be a
payoff
hard.
better be
payoff better
good.
be
Yeah,
good.
better be
But
good.
like a hard cookie, the payoff has to be. I'd be like,
Like the Pepperidge Farm, the big ones that come in that are hard.
I do like Pepperidge. Pepperidge Farm has done it right for
Yeah,
years.
those big ass Sausalitos or whatever with macadamia
Or
nuts.
you more
they're
like a
hard, but they're
Tate's.
delicious.
What's the one?
that are thin.
Oh no! Oh yo, I like the wait. You talking about the little thin, roundy on the corners one?
Tate's.
Is that
Tate's? They're in like a green bag.
I don't know Tate's.
Oh,
You know
Tate's.
what?
If you're listening, will you send us some cookies?
It's
We'll
Tate's.
We'll do that.
I said Tate's.
I know. I just don't want to be confused with that other word.
Taints. If you're listening.
Yeah.
Taints cookies.
Tate's. Those are spicy.
Those have a metal aftertaste. Pennies.
These cookies taste like
You
pennies.
know, no wait. Can I say this though? The hard cookies that are really good.
We're still here.
Yeah,
Let's
we
stay
are.
in
We
it.
are.
Yes.
I don't know the name of these ones. These
Are they
cookies.
big or little?
They're like regular. They're a little bigger than the top of this can here. They're about that
Okay.
big, right? And they're hard, and they come in these packages, and like the oatmeal one is orange, has an orange stripe across. It says oatmeal. You can buy them at like a gas station probably, but like.
Oh, the grandma's ones?
Is that what it is? It's
Yeah.
three, and it's three. There's always three in there.
Yeah, that's grandma's. That's
There's
a
oatmeal, the
Massachusetts
chocolate chip.
company.
Oh, those
Yeah,
are good.
you like
Those are good.
Grandma's.
cookies.
They put
And they're hard.
walnuts in the cookie of the chocolate chip cookie.
I didn't know that. Did they mash it up or something?
Yeah, it's
because
all
I never.
ground in
Oh
there.
yeah,
But
that's
it's
great.
delicious.
It's delicious.
It's not big chunks, but if you're allergic to nuts, be careful of grandma's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Spunkmeyer when I was in high school. Spunkmeyer cookies used
Yep.
to come, and it was like cookie day, and that was great at lunch to get. So I used to steal those because
They
I
would
reach
make the big cookies at our school too. The
Yeah,
hot ones
the hot
out of
ones.
that. Yeah,
out of that
we
thing,
didn't
and I was
have
like,
those.
oh, Spunkmeyer day.
it's cookies.
Cookies.
I
All right,
love a cookie.
I do.
I think as I'm getting older, I'd prefer a cookie over cake.
100.
I never
And I
liked
used to
cake.
love cake, and now I'm like, it's too much.
Cake has a lot of cake. You gotta come. You gotta
Cake's
come correct.
too sweet
Yeah,
for me.
You gotta come correct.
Yep.
I only like it. I don't like it when it's dry. I used
No,
to have
the
pie on
sponge
my
has to be
birthday.
good,
Sponge has to be good. Yeah.
and the sponge to frosting ratio has to be right.
I don't like that
You can't overdo
that
it.
white
Yes.
trash white like
Yeah.
very
Best cream.
Yeah.
No, I don't like the really sweet frosting that you
Mm-mm,
get
me
at like
either.
a
No, no,
grocery
no,
store.
no.
Like I won't even. I'll scrape that shit off and just eat the cake.
Can I say that as I've gotten older,
Yes, say it.
this is something that's really happened to me. As I've gotten older, when I eat things, I kind of know if they're bad for me or not. Like the taste, I'm like, that was poison. Like when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
eating it,
Yeah.
it's weird. Like the
This is
aftertaste-
artificial.
Yeah, this isn't real. This isn't okay. Like when I was younger, I could
My
eat
tongue's
everything.
gonna be blue.
Yep.
I could eat everything. Like even like the frosting. I don't like a lot of that frosting because I'm like, this is gonna make me sick.
Yep.
Like this isn't good. I can't chew gum that's not that good. Like
No.
if I chew it for a while, I'm like my stomach hurts. Like I'm like my body's like stop.
Yeah.
You know, my body's telling me as I eat Slim Jims, and I know I shouldn't have eaten this. When I was chewing the Slim Jim up, I was like, I should get some other jerky, but there's not any other jerky
Yeah, because
here.
I have like Larissa's like no sugar added grass fed beef. It's like a healthy Slim Jim.
It's but it tastes your
Yeah.
body
It's not
appreciates
as
you.
it's
Yeah.
not as good.
But you know what? When you grabbed these Slim Jims, is that a nostalgia thing for you?
It is.
Like
And
when you were a kid, did you always want those?
I always did, and I
Yeah.
always get the big ones, and I get the different flavor of them, and I still sometimes will just grab them from in the store. One step that I would do
Yes.
that I didn't do here is I peel the Slim Jim. I peel that extra skin off.
Do you really?
Yes, and then it's like I'm like, this isn't as bad. There's not much casing.
There's
on
no
it.
casing
There's no
on it.
casing on
It's
it. Right?
you can squish the oil out of it. Though.
Yeah, you can. It's gross.
Because the healthier ones are drier.
Let's
Yep.
see what the first
It's
ingredient
what
is.
it's
Shit.
it's
No.
no, it's mechanically separated.
Assholes.
Yeah, yeah.
Lips.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Mechanically separated beef.
It's
probably.
beef, pork, mechanically separated. How do you know that?
Because
Mechanically separated
know
chicken, water, textured soy flour, corn syrup,
I've
salt,
read the ingredients.
contains less than 2% of natural flavors.
So everything
the
else is
fuck knows that?
artificial. Exactly.
2%
of
is
nat-
really low.
Yeah, of natural flavor. So that means
Basically
they
what they
made this
do.
taste like beef
Yeah.
or whatever.
With mechanically separated
They have a
chicken.
machine. Just take it off the bones and they boil it down and they make it into that.
How do you
And
know
they
this?
squish it into the. Because I know stuff.
Listen. This
They're
thing-
delicious.
That's what this podcast should be called. Carolyn knows stuff.
Carolyn knows
She
stuff.
does.
No, because I used to eat those, and now I carry my own. I could show them to you. I have grass-fed beef
that's-
sticks in my
that's-
purse.
Let's do a
That's-
taste test. Get one
yeah.
for Corey and see if he likes it better.
All right.
And that's what you do.
Did you say hold on like you
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you're
she
on
really
the phone?
Has them. Yeah.
Hey everybody, hold
Hold
on. She's
That-
adorable.
When you get a little bit older, I'm not saying you gotta be old head.
Yeah.
But when you get a little older, you do things different. Like the girl, she's like, I carry my own
Yeah, she carries her own.
jerky.
Here's one.
Right? Look at this.
These
Oh, I
are
like
good.
these ones.
Yeah.
I do like these.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Real stuff.
You get those in green rooms sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they think they're giving you
Yep.
something good.
That actually is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and see, things like this are really good. People start carrying their own.
It's
sauces.
a women-owned company.
Yeah.
too.
Sometimes I'll be on the cruise ship working, and someone will just
Not that
pop
bad.
out. They're like, I always bring my own sauce,
Yeah.
or I always bring my own seasoning. And I'm like, this
Okay.
is crazy.
I always have
But
snacks.
they're like, I want to be happy, and
Yeah.
like eventually, how easy can you make yourself happy if you're going to be unhappy without these things? So you like to snack on this. You're like, I'll just keep
I
them
always
in my
have
car.
some in
I
my
got them.
purse.
I got my stuff.
My favorite is chomps, but they're expensive. I get
Oh.
those
Can
at
you
BJ.
not look at me the way you're looking at me like
I wanna
like
see
you
the-
want this?
That's
do you
my
have
last
more?
one. That's my last one.
Yeah, that's
Me.
what you're looking at me like that. You better enjoy
I have a
it.
whole bag of them at home.
Yeah.
Don't willy-nilly eat that.
Did you get those soaps I sent you?
Did you get the soaps I sent? Did you get the soaps I sent?
Oh, this is really.
Does it taste better than the Slim Jim?
All right, I'm gonna tell you, it's really dry, but
It
it tastes
doesn't.
way better.
It doesn't give you that squishy,
really
greasy
dry.
deliciousness.
No.
They should have mechanically put some juice in it, but other than
I
that,
wonder what that one says. I bet
That's
there's
grass-fed beef, so it's very lean too.
it's much
it's
better.
dry.
Though. It tastes really good. You want some of my Slim Jim?
No, thank you. No, you've described it and made it sound so good.
It's
no,
a
I've had
healthier
them
Slim
before.
Jim.
Yeah, grass-fed beef.
That kid.
Oh, it sounds like monsters outside the room. I don't know what is happening.
There's a
Yeah.
child being murdered outside of the
If we just
studio.
walk out and it's just a bunch of wolves or whatever, or
or
Skinwalkers
they
skinwalkers on
can't
all
get ice
fours.
cream and they're pissed about
So while Corey's enjoying his
This is really
meat
good.
snack,
You
it.
guys want to try?
The best are chomps.
chomps. So the article I found talked about more example of Skinwalker and Shiv Schaefer's used in a sentence, which is weird because you did a spelling bee joke. In mythology, this is in mythology, a shapeshifter is a creature that can change its form at will. Some people believe that shapeshifters are able to assume the appearance of other humans. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Now, what was the clip recently that went viral where there was a woman on an airplane and she wanted to get off because she kept saying she was sitting next to a shapeshifter? She pulled a nutty. She lost her mind and was like,
I'm getting off the plane.
yep.
They're not real.
That
you
I-
can stay on here if you want to.
I didn't
but
see that.
They're not real.
It was terrifying.
when she got off.
But she
Yeah.
probably really believed that, right?
I bet.
She seemed like she really believed it.
So
They're-
that's one of those things. Like if Kathy was here, she'd say, "Well, she's mentally ill,"
And maybe she is. And
and she might have been. But if she truly believed that,
She believed
yeah,
it.
she believed it. You could tell. She believed it.
When if I don't veer off too much, can I tell you this?
Yeah, please do.
When I was in Texas, I was in Dallas, Texas. I went to do these shows down there, and I was doing them at a Dave and Buster's. They were going to start trying to do shows at Dave and Buster's.
that seems like. A
Why are
good
you
idea.
bragging?
Yeah, right.
We're gonna
They were
turn
at a
all the
Dave
video
and
games
Buster's.
off.
You know when comedians are like, I do kids parties. I really do. So no, but they were starting. It was the original Dave and Buster's. So one of the guys off themselves, but the other one was there at this event. It was either Dave or Buster. I can't remember which one it was, but they were there.
One of them's busted.
One of them.
One of 'em off.
Ooh. So one of them was there. So they were
Get a
trying to
letter.
they were trying to start doing shows there at this thing again. So anyways, I'm doing a show, and this was right around COVID time, but like down there, people hadn't they had it was like whatever. I was in Dallas, Texas. And
Yeah.
it was kind of like
Yeah.
COVID was a thing, but it wasn't like a thing.
Right.
So we're in there. People all in. It wasn't all masked up, and it was crazy because around here everybody was fully.
Were you wearing a mask?
No.
Or
I
when in
just-
Rome?
Yeah.
You
I
were
was
like,
kinda
okay.
fitting in or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I get on stage and I start doing these jokes about masks. I'm like, we gotta wear the mask and blah blah blah. It's like it's silenced to the point where it was like, man, like I offended somebody or something like. You know what I mean? When I was talking about it, I was like, yeah, you gotta wear the mask. I hate when people don't wear it because it's like they're sneezing all over you, and it just, And I'm like, ooh, this isn't the right stuff to talk about right now. I should just keep it moving. So people start like laughing at other stuff. Show's over. Guy comes over to me. He goes, I really enjoyed you. He goes, but the mask stuff, nah. And I was like, what? He was like, it's not true. He goes, the mask is all a big setup. He goes, it's just for them to make money. That mask doesn't work anyways. All these masks that people are wearing don't work. The N95 is the only mask that does really work. And if you use all these other masks, it's nothing. It's just for people to make money. All these other companies came out with masks, and it's a way for them to control you. So I'm like, oh, God, I didn't want to get into this conversation right
You're
now.
like
but I'm like,
smiling
all right.
and nodding.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
all right, man,
wow.
all right. So now I look, and I'm kind of, there's people all around me. Like, I'm kind of surrounded, and they're all just, like, shaking their head with this guy, right? And then I look looking right. And this lady, this like bigger black lady, comes up next to me, and she's like, now this guy's talking to me. He's saying all this stuff. She's standing right here.
Okay.
Like close. It's just some giant titties, right? There's a reason I'm telling you this. Giant titties.
Okay. It really puts a visual. It paints
no,
a picture.
I just need you to see this.
No,
this,
I
this
can
makes
picture
it
that.
So she's standing right here, and I'm like, I'm looking at her, and I want to be like, what? But I'm like, hello. She goes, how you doing? She goes, look at my shirt. And I was like, okay. And she goes, no, look at it. And I was like, I'm looking at it, right? And she goes, look at it again. What do you see? And I was like I wasn't gonna be like big titties. Like I didn't want to say that, so I was just like, I don't know.
I can't get past your neck.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like I see a shirt, and she's like, look at the shirt. Slow down and look at the shirt. And her shirt had very faint. It had a Q on it.
Like Q.
A Q. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, I see a Q. And she was like, exactly. Now all these people are like, yes, exactly. They were like, and you're here talking about masks and everything. Do you realize what you're caught up in? I end up being surrounded by all QAnon people. So then they start coming over, and it was like, this guy is the guy that we're here for. So I'm in a room with all of them. And so we're just talking about what you can make someone believe. They were like, hey, man, let me talk to you. Do you know that Michael Jackson's still alive? They were like, Michael Jackson's alive, Prince is alive, right? This is what they're telling me. They said,
and John
Michael
F. Kennedy
Jackson.
Jr.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy Jr., right? They all were wearing pins that were JFK Jr. They were like, JFK Jr.
He's
still alive
too. I don't know.
And they were like, they were like, Trump's. They had positive things to say about Trump, but then they weren't harping on that. They were harping on JFK Jr. being alive, Prince being alive. They were like, listen, it's all they were like, you think he's dead? Are you crazy? They were like, Prince plays in a backup band for another group. They named the group. They said Joe Biden is fake. They said Joe Biden is really Jim Carrey. They said, if you look at Joe Biden's neck, I swear to you. So when they're talking to me like this, I'm going to tell you what I did because you guys know me. So now I'm surrounded, and they're all like, right, you got to listen. It's a lot, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, it's a lot. They're like, it's hard to believe, isn't it? I was like,
yeah,
I was like, man, you make a lot of sense because there's so many of them, right? I'm around, right? Right? Yeah. And so I'm like, it makes a lot of sense.
Everybody spit in my mouth.
Everybody, yeah, right. And then like, I'm literally all around me, right? It was like 100 people.
Oh my
God.
Okay,
So the guy's talking. He's like, it doesn't make sense. He's like, but I'm here to tell you the truth, right? And the people are like, yeah, he tells the truth. And it's all different races of people in here. The dude's talking to me is white, but it's all different races, all different like mental capabilities. I see everything, like everything. So the guy's going on and on and on, and then so I kind of like work my way out. He's like, I'm just saying, you don't have to believe all this stuff now, but just put it in your head. Just put it in your head and think about it later, and it's going to make a lot of sense to you. And he's talking to me about the Joe Biden thing, and he said, if you look at it, he said Joe Biden's neck keeps changing. He said, that's a mask. It's right in front of your face. He goes, they're so stupid they put it in our face all the time. And I was like, you watch a video with like Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
There's some things she does.
San Diego. I'm like, that's going way back.
There's a thing where she'll like pull her face off, and she's really somebody. But it's like, he's like, they
like
do
white
that.
chicks.
Yeah, exactly. Like what white chicks do. He goes, they do that stuff right in your face. He goes, and that's Jim Carrey under Joe Biden's thing. So then everybody's talking.
They're not even the same height.
Listen, I just was letting the guy talk because I'm like, I never heard no shit like this.
Well, yeah, and you want to get out of it.
I'm trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
So I slide to the side, and there's a girl who's in with these guys, and she's kind of newer. She's probably like 40-something, 40-ish or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could, so she's like, he says a lot of really good stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, he does. I go, let me ask you, how long you been in? She was like, I just kind of met up, with everyone.
God,
I'm kind of in.
You stumbled into their like monthly meeting
So
at Dave and Buster's.
At Dave and Buster's, they came to the show specifically, not for me, but they were just the 100 people they had in the thing. Oh. So I said to the girl, I go, I said, I just started being, I was like, man, he does say a lot of good stuff. I go, but Prince, come on, you think Prince is? And she was like, I'm not sure, right? I wanted to crack somebody. She was like, I'm not sure. And I was like, yeah. I said, come on, Prince. I mean, Prince is playing backup because he said he's playing backup for something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like ZZ Top or something ridiculous. He was like, Prince is a backup thing. You can tell that way that musician's playing. You can't kill Prince. Michael Jackson and Prince. It's not obvious to you. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, no, but I just smiled. I was like, you make a lot of good points. You make a lot of good points. And that was just the weirdest thing I've ever been in. So you can make people believe. So that lady who was believing what was on the plane, I just feel like if you get into people's heads the right way, you can make them believe whatever with just a little bit of, with some real stuff.
Yeah.
Like the government's never tricked you before, and then he would throw in stuff that really did happen. You know, they've experimented on us before.
They did that
you
with
know?
LSD. The CIA did that.
Yeah.
They used it as a truth serum
Yeah.
because LSD, when you're on LSD, you can tell someone something and they'll believe it. So you can use it the opposite. You can try to get the real information from someone by drugging them and altering their mind, which is really scary. And they had people like jump out of hotel rooms and stuff and kill themselves because they couldn't handle it because they didn't know they were on LSD.
Oh, wow.
And the government did that.
Wow. See, that's something that he would use.
It wasn't JFK Jr. It was in the 40s and 50s, but
And it wasn't
it wasn't
Prince.
QAnon.
It wasn't Prince. It wasn't
Wasn't
Michael.
there.
that QAnon phenomenon though is bizarre. Like,
It's
did you
so
watch the
bizarre.
special on?
Yeah.
I think it was on HBO.
Yep.
And I watched that and I was like, they believe, like they really do
Yes.
believe
Yes.
what they're saying.
Yes.
And I guess there's a point where you have to be like, okay, well, they believe it, so they can believe what they want to believe. But when you're surrounded
Yeah.
and they're telling you Prince is alive,
You agree with them and you get the F
you
out
get
of
out
there.
of there.
Yeah.
And you also don't play a Dave and Buster's in Texas. Is your career going poorly? Should we talk about it?
It was during COVID. I was out there.
Oh.
I was literally flying. I went to Logan. I was the only. At one point, I was the only one. There was two of us on a plane.
They let me screen myself. Yeah. Oh, okay. Carolyn, do you have anything else we should know about Skinwalker Ranch?
Well, I think it's one of the things that you need to know is it's one of those places where all these things kind of come together. So it could be some sort of like magnetic force, something like that. There's actually a triangle in Massachusetts where people have seen Sasquatch and UFO sightings. I did a show in Rehoboth.
Oh, yeah, Rehoboth.
Rehoboth is part of the triangle. Some lady was telling me about it.
Yes.
So we should talk about that at some point. But this is like the Utah's version of that type of anomaly.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I want to. Is Rehoboth where there's that like doll head?
No, it's
thing in
not
the woods?
Rehoboth. It's a whole triangle of towns in
Oh.
that part of Massachusetts.
Huh.
I had to go to Rhode Island to get to Rehoboth. It was weird.
That is true. Carolyn tries to get me to go to scary places. Do you like to go to scary places?
Yeah, I do. I really do because
I find it fascinating.
I do, and I've been to like, I truly want to see the scary. Like I'm weird in a sense where I can take it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be like I'm scared to death and I can't like. No, I mean in the moment, yes.
Yes.
But I mean I'm not gonna be like altered for life where I can't like move forward. But
That's
yeah,
how
am
I
gonna
am.
run?
I want to experience it and say, yeah, I saw a ghost.
I saw a ghost. Like exactly. Like even when bad things happen, right? Like if something bad's gonna happen, I know it sounds so crazy to say, but if something bad's gonna happen, even in real life, even if it's not a ghost, I don't wish anything bad to ever happen to anybody. But if it's gonna happen, I kind of don't mind seeing it, just so
I know what you mean.
just so I can kind of like be like, I saw it, like I see that, like I saw that happen. Yeah, and then it's like I'll deal with it. Like I have a mental palate that is broad enough to be able to take many things. I haven't encountered something yet that I was like, man, I couldn't handle it. Not like after the fact, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think so scary things. I'm so full of like, I'm so sick of hearing like, the UFO was there and it took me up and I had a drink and it gave me a soda and it had a real big eye. Like I'm like, suck me up there and let me see this thing.
Yeah.
And then beam me back home and I'll be like, and I'll make somebody believe the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Just
I know
don't
to
be
talk
like
to
Kate
them.
You'll sell
McKinnon
it.
on SNL.
Yeah.
I was Porky Pigging it over there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like all the you know what I'm saying?
She's hilarious in those abductions.
So it brings me up, right? And then he takes off my pants. I'm like, what am I, Donald Duck? And then
Like I want to see
And
it.
she's like, did you get the titty thing? And they're like, it was like a bright white light. And she goes, yeah, that wasn't my experience.
I'll tell you if I can tell you that I'll share something with
Yeah,
you that was kind of that was scary, probably the scariest for me that I experienced. Like genuinely, when people say the hair on the back of your neck stands up and all that stuff, I'm not that dude. Like I don't even believe a lot of times when someone's like, I had a headache and I took this and went right away. Like I'm always like, man, give it that time to work. It's like when somebody farts and the person across the room's like, oh man. It's like you can't smell it that fast, man. Shut up. You know what I mean? I get so annoyed. It's like just be real.
this hasn't even hit you
Yeah,
yet.
haven't even hit you yet. You know, be real. Be real to at least some of us. You know, you do that if you're joking around, but oh man, oh, I'm dying. It's like, man, shut up, man. You know what I mean? So, and people, that's how they do in the movies though when they drink. They're like, I can't kill Roger, and they're like, let's kill that motherfucker. You're like, what did he drink?
Right.
How did it kick in so fast?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. I'm ready to go. You didn't want to kill him a second ago. You had 2 shots. What the hell is that? Anyways, so I like to see it. I like to feel it. And this is one time when I genuinely felt something. So I grew up with my grandparents. My grandmother died, right? And I can't even tell you how long ago after she died this happened, but it wasn't long. I was in the house, just my grandfather was home. He was in the room resting, laying down. And he's not a prankster. He's not any of this, so none of that applies. So it's me and him are the only ones home. 100%, we're the only ones in the house. I'm in the kitchen, and I was going to get some food or what. I was going to make some food, but I went out real quick to just flip the laundry over on the back porch, right, which is right next to the kitchen. You go around, boom, go do that. Me and him are the only ones home. I come back in the kitchen, and all of my cabinets are open. All of the cabinets are open, okay? Everything, all of them, like, boop, 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 like, somebody opened all the shit, right, or something. And so it's one of the only times in my life ever that, like, besides about to fight somebody, you know what I mean, where you get, like, where, like, fight or flight kicks in. But, like, I got the chills right now. Like, everything on my neck was like, whoop, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, I was like, I'm looking around, and I start calling my grandfather. We call my grandfather Big Daddy. I'm like, Big Daddy, Big Daddy. I'm like, Big Daddy. He was like, he's sleeping. You know what I mean? I go in the room. He's like, yeah. I said, did you go in the kitchen or something? He said, no, I ain't been in no kitchen. And I was like, all right, well, everything's open in the kitchen, like all the cabinets or something.
He couldn't open them that fast.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't open them and run back in the room and lay down. He's not.
Right.
He's not that dude. Like he's not. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody
He's
can
resting because he's tired. Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah. And I said, all the cabinets are open in the kitchen. He said, well, close them. I was like, all right, I'll close them. So I was like, you think it was? I said, you think it was Nana? You know what I mean? In the kitchen. He said, who? I said, you think it was Nana in the kitchen? And he didn't say nothing. And then I shut the cabinets and I was like, okay, this is the closest I've ever come to anything supernatural, paranormal, whatever. That shit right there was amazing. And I was like, man, I was like, after it happened, I closed everything. I was like, man, if that was you, open them again. You know, because I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, if it was you, and I won't be scared. I was like, I'm literally saying this. I'm making my food. I'm like, because, I'm kind of scared right now. But if that was you, open them again, and then I'll know it's you. Then I'll know you're in the kitchen. So I'm just talking, saying this shit, trying to hope that she's like, like open them all back up. So that's the closest that I've ever got. Nothing else ever.
Nothing ever happened like that
Nothing
again?
Nothing ever. Nothing. Only other things that have happened are things that people have told me, and then I've put it in my head like it's happened to me.
Oh,
like someone will be like, people will say shit like, the spirits in your room, they'll sit at the edge of the bed and you can feel the bed go down.
Oh, boy.
They'll say like shit like that in the corner. And I'll be like, fuck the bed go down. But I never did. You know what I mean? Like I assumed, but but it did. It never went down. You know what I mean? So, that's it. That's the only thing I've ever.
That's crazy.
Probably was her.
Yeah.
I mean, the wind didn't do it. We weren't in an earthquake. I don't. The things open is something opened those fucking cabinets.
And it must have been so shocking, right? Like I feel like when something like that happens, and did you question if you were awake?
Yeah. Well, I questioned everything in the moment, but no, I knew I was awake.
Yeah.
But
He's doing laundry. He was awake.
No, but I'm saying because I had something happen at my parents' condo in Florida. My aunt had passed away, and I didn't see her before she passed away, but at their condo, the front room is the second bedroom, and there's a door to the bathroom, but there's also a pocket door into the guest room. And it was the middle of the night, and I got up to the bathroom, and the other door was open, and you can see into the dinette in the kitchen. And so I go in, and I'm going to pee, and I look, and my aunt is sitting at the dinette, and I was like, what? I literally went, you're dreaming. You're clearly asleep and dreaming. And she went, shh.
Oh,
And then I just slowly closed the door.
But you won't go see Annabelle the doll with me.
No. And then I went back to bed. And the next day, I did the same thing. I said, you know, Auntie Anne, if you came to out loud, if you came to see me last night, please don't do that again.
Yes,
because
I
that
shit
was
my
really
pants.
scary for me.
Yeah.
Please don't do that again.
yeah.
Because I was like, because you're supposed to talk to them and tell them, like, she's not trying to scare me.
Right.
Same thing with your grandmother, right?
Yeah,
She's not
yeah.
trying to scare you. She just wanted you to know
She was there.
she's hanging out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like when my friend Greg died, and I woke up
Yeah.
dead asleep, 3 a.m. or so. I woke up, and I knew that he had passed. And the next day, I got a phone call, and they said Greg passed away. I said, "What time was it?" They're like, "Around 3 o'clock." I was like, "He came to see me before he left."
Yeah.
I believe that to this day.
Was he sick or anything?
Yeah, he was sick for a while, and I was the only one that was real with him. And it was, I woke up, I was like crying.
But can I say something about that? Him being already sick too, so it wasn't freak. Is that I really believe this. Not to get into all some
Yeah.
weird shit, but I really believe that we're connected through the universe, and so that's a lot of times if I'm thinking about Kelly and Kelly calls, or I'm thinking about you
Yeah.
and you call, like randomly, whatever. We could be just the time you get ready to sit down and call that person, they're like, blah, 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 and they text you, you're like, yo, that's fucking crazy. I think there are times when we really are locked in, and I think that even in a situation like with Greg, that you're locked in, like you were locked in, like universe-wise
Yep.
locked in. So yeah, you did feel that when it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think those things really happen, because why wouldn't you feel it if he's dying, and you would feel it if you're about to call him or
Right.
call? It's the same.
Well, I hadn't seen him
same
in
thing.
months because I couldn't
It's
watch
always
him.
like that,
I
though.
couldn't watch
Yeah.
him do what he was doing, and
Yeah.
so it was just weird because I hadn't talked to him in probably like a month and a half.
Yeah, but you were locked. You. I don't know how we get on the wavelength. If I could
I don't.
control it,
I know.
Right.
it would be some crazy shit.
I
Because I
know.
don't know when it happens, but like you don't know how many times I pick up my phone and I'm like, and the person is messaging me or they're
And then
calling
you were,
me,
yeah, you
Yes.
just-
or I was about to call them, did something else real quick, and then they're calling me in that time. Somehow, some way, we are connected. You know what I mean? And it's just, and I think part of us knows it too. I think maybe when we start pushing in that direction, like you knew that something was going to happen to him based on the way he was treating himself. So maybe that is what locked you in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I
Like
think
we
you're
know
right.
sometimes when we miss someone who hasn't talked to us in a while, it's like, man, this person, I need to talk to this person.
Yeah.
And maybe somehow that's what locks you into them. And they're
Yeah.
like, and then they think like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to call this person back. Bloop, bloop. You know, it could be
Yep.
a month, it could be a couple hours, it could be whatever. You're like, I was just thinking,
It's just a weird feeling though.
It is a
It
weird
is.
feeling.
To
You
get
can't
that
explain it.
phone call
Yeah.
the next day and be like, oh,
yeah.
that's when I woke up.
Well, when my mom died, we had been at the hospital with her. She was in hospice, and my brother had flown into town, and my dad was there, and my aunt, and we were all at the hospital. And then I was like, okay, we should all go to the house and get something to eat. And we all went to the house, and they all went out on the porch, and I went into the bedroom and decided that I wanted to give myself a manicure, which I never do, but that was what my mom always was doing her nails. Her nails were perfect. She was always, it was like her soothing thing. She'd do it at night. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll do my nails. And I went in and I was painting my nails, and then I stopped and my phone rang, and it was them calling to tell me she had just passed away. And I was like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the weirdest.
that shit happens. But there was some comfort in that. To your point, like, I feel like you can either be, yes, I will not go to the Annabelle doll with you because I don't
They had
know.
a buffet dinner with
I
the
don't know
Annabelle
what's
doll.
in that doll. I don't know what's in that doll.
A demon.
But I do know my mom isn't going to come and hurt me. That's what I know.
They had a lecture buffet dinner
All right.
with Annabelle the doll on display. And Kelly wouldn't go
Would
there.
you go see Annabelle the doll?
In Rhode
I
Island.
don't even know what it really is, so I don't.
It's a possessed
It's
doll.
from The Conjuring.
But there's prime rib. Do you want to go? I mean, I love
Go
prime
for
rib.
the prime rib. Stay for the possession.
Oh, we're going to end right there. Great job, Carolyn. Way to put the button on this shit. Corey, thank you for will you join
Thank
us
you.
for another episode?
Sure.
You will?
Yes, let's do it. Let's
will you
do it.
always wear shorts going forward when we do podcasts?
If you rub my knees, yes.
The boop, boop, boop. I'm not even rubbing them. I'm like tapping on them.
Look at her. Look at her. She's like,
Yeah.
ooh. I didn't rub. I just tapped his knee.
And this is going on OnlyFans. It's just knees. It's just knees, gang. That's the only thing. We're the Fraidy Cat Podcast. Thank you, John Tobin Presents, and thank you, Boston Comedy Studios for producing our podcast. I'm Kelly McFarland. I'm all flustered now. There were possessed dolls and knees.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And our guest, Corey Rodrigues.
We'll put everything in the show notes. Thanks for